Jesus.
You want me to cue them, Robert?
Got itchy fucking head after you roll.
So you gotta shave it down.
That's it. I was about to say that's why you shave your head.
You shave my ass. It's itchy too.
Is your ass itch?
Fuck yeah, every
What do your
day.
fingers smell like?
Like fucking
Jeez.
Pollock crack. You ever see a Pollock on crack? Look. Fuck yeah, every day. Like fucking Pollock crack. I know, I'm disgusting. You don't have to tell me. Pollock on crack, look.
What's going on here?
Fuck
They
you
strip
guys.
every time?
Yeah. Don't make me laugh, Miguel. We're going live. Jesus Christ.
Live is on the right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Bobby's got it, don't worry. Perfection.
Live is on the right?
All right, everybody. We're here back at Full Contact Fun Addicts for another great hour of mixed martial arts, little boxing, little jiu-jitsu. We're going to talk about it all today. Over here on my right, got Dando. And over here on my left, somebody we've been talking about since day one, John Dello from Dello Jiu-Jitsu. How are you, my friend?
How are you, my friend?
We're doing good, man. I got to tell you, man, we've talked a lot. You know, this is our third show. And we've talked quite a bit about Dello, about Dello Jiu-Jitsu, a bunch of different things like that,
And
right,
his-
Dando?
and his
stories,
infamous temper?
No, so I've actually got a few emails and I got a few messages saying, well, when are you going to have him on so we can hear from him? Because real quick for the people listening to us, the relationship between John Dello and myself goes back for many years.
20
And
to be
everybody's
exact.
always asking, well, how this happened and how I got involved in the wrestling and stuff like that. So we're gonna go back to that in just a few. Talk a little bit about that. We're gonna go over the UFC coming up. Then we're gonna do some news, and then we're gonna go talk about your dojo, talk about some jiu-jitsu. You also guys had a tournament that you went to yesterday.
Sure.
Yes, sir.
How'd you guys do?
How we did it? We got a couple of first place finishes, a couple seconds, thirds. We did all right.
Yeah.
You know, we talk a lot about that too. You know, Dando and Miguel and I, and don't forget Robert over there running the controls. We talk a lot about competing. You know, when you're competing and stuff like that, it gives you something to test your skills. You know what I mean? So real quick before we get into talking about the UFC, tell us out there for the people listening to Fun
Addicts.
Fun Addicts. That's what throws me off.
You're addicted to fun.
Yeah, would you
You're
agree?
not crazy. You're not a fanatic.
Exactly. You're just
you're
a
addicted
fun
to
addict.
fun. I get it. I get it.
Would you agree with that? It's a good place to you know to test yourself.
Well, the competition or
Exactly.
like grappling
In-
competitions?
in
jiu-jitsu?
grappling competition or jiu-jitsu competition.
Well, you know,
Because once you take off the gi, it's grappling.
it's jiu-jitsu.
Once you take off the gi.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, let me tell you why.
Go ahead, go
I have an old school approach to this. All right. I worked for a famous Brazilian family at their jiu-jitsu school, and we did jiu-jitsu with the gi. We did jiu-jitsu without the gi. We didn't call it no gi jiu-jitsu. We just said take a gi off, we're rolling. Right. That was it.
Right.
And you had to be able to, you know, in Brazil they wear those little what do they call those things? Those little
Valetudo
Speedos?
shorts?
Those Speedos, no, on the
Speedos,
beach,
right.
And those guys throw down all the time on the beach.
yeah.
All right, jiu-jitsu guys were no different. They fought on the beach, right? They fought with no gi, right?
Right.
In the dojo, in tournaments and stuff, they wear a gi. It's all to suggest that jiu-jitsu without a gi is not jiu-jitsu. Is an insult to me, and I think probably to a lot of old school guys.
Right, because you're still going for submissions, and that's...
It's still, you're
that's
still
the name of the
applying your
game.
martial art, which is jiu-jitsu.
Well, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about... I've had Adam Lynn on here, last show, whatever.
He's a man, isn't he?
Exactly.
That
And
guy's a throwback.
We
That's why he's
talked
like
a
a
lot
John
about
Wayne.
how it's changed and
Right.
so much, you know, especially with the 10th Planet, and they're doing all these jiu-jitsu tournaments with, you know, totally changing up the game. So we'll talk about that. We're going to get
Okay.
into that. We're going to get into, you know, old school jiu-jitsu. We talked about that too, Dondo. Remember, we're talking
Certainly
about
did.
in the gi, trying to get him down, passing that guard, you know.
Yeah.
You're not just going for the points, but we're going for the submission. So we're going to talk a little bit about that as we progress. But, you know, got to cover everything. Got the UFC coming up.
All right.
We're talking a little bit before we went on the air. The main event on the next one is Demetrius Johnson against Ray Borg.
Mighty Mouse.
Now, Ray Borg, I actually had a chance to talk to a couple of times because when I go out to Albuquerque for King of the Cage, he was with Fit NHB back then, and then he kind of jumped ship and went to Winklejohn. So there's a little bit of, you know, there's a little bit of bad blood in there or whatever. We talked about that on the show
Yeah,
too, you know, about
absolutely.
and we talked about Henry. We talked about how Henry came to you and said, hey, you know, I want to. I'm starting to get to another level. I want to get some different looks. I want to progress. But he came at you like a man, right?
He came like a man, right? He said, "Hey, look, I want to get to the big time, and I'm not going to let anything stand in my way." And I'm like, you know what? I respect that. Do what you got to do. Our discussion was more about management and agents and stuff like that, and how I wasn't going to let one of those get in the way of our progress. And he went. Henry was always straightforward, and I always have a special place in my heart for Henry as well as in the dojo.
Right. And I remember we talked about that one day, and you told me, I would never forget it. You said, I can never blame somebody for trying to better themselves.
Right.
I just want to be a part of it.
Right.
So, makes sense. Now, big step up for him. Ray Borg, good wrestler, coming from Fit NHB, moving over to Jack Winkeljohn to kind of up his game or whatever. I personally will take it around the horn. I personally don't see anybody beating Demetrius Johnson at this point.
No.
Would you agree? Or?
Well, here's the thing, okay?
I mean, anybody can be beat, right?
Well, that was what I was going to say. Demetrius Johnson, there's very few fighters I've seen fight like him. And like the last guy he fought, that young Brazilian guy, right? Young Brazilian
Yes.
guy? I forgot his name. Anyway, I don't follow, but when it's on, I'll watch it, right? Especially if it's on for free.
Right.
Right?
Those are the best cards. We like those
I'm watching
cards.
Demetrius Johnson, and I'm like, there's not a... He took a guy who was very, 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 very good and made him look subpar.
Yeah.
Demetrius Johnson, toughness, technique, and tenacity. These are things that not just make a champion, but make a legend. And I don't like to blow smoke and talk about how great certain fighters are, because at that level, they're all great. They're all great, right? But to watch him dismantle systematically that cat in that cage that night, I was like, hey, you do need to pay him. Whatever it is he's asking for. I'm really impressed. There's very few fighters that I'll actually make an effort to see, and he's definitely one of them.
We talked about that on the show. We talked about Demetrius cleaning out the division, and maybe might behoove him to move up to the 135-pound division
or slow him down.
Go, that I mean, he's other than Henry Cejudo, he's almost cleaned out the whole division.
So bring in new guys, beat them down.
Well,
The reason being, right? You have to look at it this way: a champion like him, I don't know if he's undefeated or not. Is he
at the moment?
No, he lost to Dominic Cruz, but that was at 135.
Yeah.
He's got 2 losses and
Right.
one.
Okay, but he's on this
Wait
streak.
a minute, was that
He's
a voice
been
from
on a
Evans?
12
It sounds like
12-fight streak, though, isn't it?
Saint Nick.
Jesus?
Nick, the
I
producer,
forgot.
how many fights is he in?
Nick is at the producer spot today. I'm sorry I didn't mention you, my man. But I
all
get
good.
going or whatever.
My mouse is 26-2-1, and his last one.
12 undefeated, right?
Beat Wilson Reese.
I'll put in a row.
Oh yeah, Wilson. And now Wilson Reese is going to fight Henry Cejudo on the undercard. So we'll talk about that.
Gotcha.
Now, real quick before we continue on the card, we talked a lot about Long Beach Fight Night, and I talk a lot about that because I actually got to see the fights at Long Beach Fight Night. I got to see a lot of fights at King of the Cage. Now, this is what I would say is a testament to what makes a good fight. Dello is a fighter.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So he knew what to look for. I remember back in those days, he would go, I brought this dude from Team Quest in Temecula because this guy's going to put a good fight with this guy. Now, same thing with John Judy out there in Albuquerque. He's a fighter. He puts together some really good matches, knows what to look for. Now, you got somebody like Sean Shelby or whatever. What can they look for to find somebody to meet Demetrius Johnson? Do they go to gyms and say, well, maybe this guy or hone him from the beginning?
No, I didn't make matches at that level, all right? But I did make matches with guys
But you knew what to look
were
for.
seemingly very, very tough to find local
Right.
guys to beat them, right? But you don't worry about that. You put the best fighter you can in there. You don't try to say, all right, well, this guy's a stand-up puncher and this guy's a grappler, and that's not a no.
Right.
You try to put the 2 best fighters you can in the frame.
Right.
That's it.
All right, 'cause
All right,
even-
now you have to show some. When you have 5 guys and you have 3 collegiate wrestlers, you have like a bunch of Phil Davises,
Right.
and then right. But at that point, you have the world champion,
Right.
who's on an incredible streak and he's dominating people.
Yep.
All you have to do, you don't look at, oh, will this guy stand and bang with him, or will this guy, this? No, you say, okay, this is the guy who's the best, and you put him in there. That's simple. Right? If you try to start monkeying with the works, right? That's like in the middle of the season, right? The NFL, Roger Goodell goes, you know what? I'm not going to let New England play the Rams because
Right.
we know. But let's match them up here and let's put no.
It makes sense.
You want legitimacy to your sport. You want to call it a sport,
But
then you put the best against the
I
best.
remember,
That's all you can do.
I remember like it was yesterday. Dello would say, these big buffed out dudes would be coming out, and I go, this guy looks like a world beater. And he'd be going up against this guy that was in good shape, but not all,
Sure.
Loked out.
I don't know how to
Is
say
that
things,
what they
but
call
all
it?
those garrote, big dude like.
Sure.
And he would tell me, we would be sitting there at the weigh-ins, and he would tell me, that dude's gonna give him a fight. He looks like a lot, but this guy's, I think he was coming from Millennium or something, because he's got, or maybe Thomas Denny. He's got good training. He's going to give that kid a fight, and he did. So you kind of know what to look for. The point I'm trying to make is, after Ray Borg, I only see Henry Cejudo that can maybe give him a good fight, but you got to look, ahead. I honestly, man, after that, I really don't. If he went up to 135 and maybe fought somebody like TJ or something
They're
like that,
going to have to make it interesting.
That would be
That's
a good
for sure.
fight.
No, they don't. See, and that's where we have a difference of opinion,
yeah.
right? Because
Well, I mean, it's not
no,
like because you
but
put
that
some
that
stuff
doesn't make
together.
me right. This
Right.
is opinion. But what
Well,
I'm saying,
I've seen it.
yeah, what I'm saying is, who's the heavyweight champ? Stipe Miocic, right?
Yes. Mhm.
All right. Now, what happens if he cleans out the division? Does he got to
He's
go
gotta
down
drop
now?
to 205.
No, absolutely
Yeah.
not. You are the champ.
Got to fight
Period.
Brock.
You are the world champion of a world champion
Right.
organization, championship organization.
Well, see, that makes sense.
right?
Yeah.
You just keep fighting. You're the champ.
See, that's why we have you here.
Well, you don't mess around with this. Well, who's next? Who's next? The next guy's next.
Yeah, whoever's in the division that's got
The
the
next
wins
guy's
or
next.
whatever. So, Nick, you want to make it unanimous, or what do you think? Ray Borg got a chance?
That is if you want legitimacy and calling it a sport.
Yes,
I
and
think
not be
everybody's
boxing.
got a chance. Everybody's got a puncher's chance no matter what. Don't think he's going to do it, but he definitely has
Well,
a chance.
let's put it this way.
I think Cejudo has a really good chance. With the
He
wrestling,
surprised me in his last fight,
wrestling.
but that's what I'm saying. Ray Borg, you think he's going to at least be able to give him a fight?
I don't know. That footwork, he's like lightning fast. He's got good hands. I don't
Yeah.
know if Ray Borg can't keep up.
Well,
He's going to do circles
I'm
going
gonna
to
say that's-
However, with Henry Cejudo's
yeah,
wrestling, come on.
I'm going to say that's
Wrestle
going to be
the
a
hell
good
out
fight.
of him,
Yeah.
cut him off
I
at
mean,
the pass.
That's got to be the formula, right?
Yeah.
Close
Well,
that
we
distance,
certainly
try to
hope
get
that's
into
the formula.
ground.
That's what I want to see.
Now,
That's the
here's the
build-up.
big question. Is it worth $60? Me, no. I'm not going to pay $60 to see that.
I'll come to your house if
Yeah.
you pay the $60.
I mean, it's like
I'll
you
pay
say,
the
if
cover
some-
charge.
if
I
somebody's-
might pay cover charge.
Yeah,
right?
you know what takes-
$10 and then I'll go have a couple
Because
beers.
it takes a lot. It takes a lot to put that money out to see that. And then finally, Amanda Nunes and Shevchenko are going to go
Yep.
ahead and finally fight.
Yep.
She's had some controversy because they were saying she could have fought, but
Yeah.
she didn't want to.
Yeah.
And Dana was saying, hey, man, just because your mind's not in it doesn't mean you can't fight or
Yeah,
whatever.
that's what you
So
train
he's
for.
giving her a second chance. Now, the people coming from, she coming, is it Bulgaria that she's from? Shlevenko?
That
or
I don't
Russia
know.
or whatever?
I think she's
Well, she
Eastern
speaks
Bloc.
Spanish. I know that because I've
Whoa.
seen the.
Oh, well, she must be from Tijuana.
No, she
Russia.
had her training in Bulgaria or something like that. But different style.
Yeah.
She's more technical.
One of those Eastern Bloc countries, though.
Yeah, she's not going
Shevchenko.
to come out swinging like Cyborg against
Yeah.
Amanda Nunes. But Amanda Nunes got a knockout over Ronda Rousey. I mean,
Yeah.
it's two different things. So that's a toss-up.
Yeah.
You know what? They're both very tough, right?
Mm-hmm.
The one thing about the heavy hitters like Amanda Nunes and the Eastern European or the Russian.
There you go, Eastern European.
Yes,
That's what I was looking for.
the Russians they are so tough.
Yeah.
They come from generations of toughness. I mean, you look at you can look at Americans and you can look at Russians. And
Yeah.
you can say, what did the Americans do? Let's draw the line at World War II. All right, that was
Right.
our greatest generation.
Right.
Right. Our grandfathers went over there and fought. Right. Well, the Russian grandfathers didn't have to go anywhere because the Nazis were, coming through, and so
had no choice.
and so when you were a little boy, if your dad was still alive after World War II,
Yeah.
and your dad said, "Hey, no, go outside, shovel snow,"
Right,
right.
right.
And so it was.
Right, it's a different-
They're very tough people. They
Yeah,
are
you
very
don't want to
tough
say
people.
spoiled or whatever, but
Yeah,
it was. But anyways, I think that's going to be a good fight. Again, I don't know if I'd pay that much money.
My
to see
point
it.
was, I'm
Go
sorry,
for it.
I'm sorry. Amanda Nunes can punch all day. How do you
Shevchenko.
Shevchenko can take punches probably all day and half the night, right? So as those punches start to get, did you say Sergeant Stadenko?
He did.
As those punches start to
name
get,
Hard
those
Hat.
arms start to get heavy, and then those Russians will come on. So
Right.
anything's possible, and she's got skills of her own. you know?
And also when it's a women's match, you never know. They come to fight.
Sure.
So she
They
can
bring
make
it
a
all.
fight out of it.
Woman,
Now,
you never know.
the rest of them,
That's
Neil
quite
Magny
possible
against
as
Dos
well.
Anjos. I'm not Dos Santos and Ngannou, but Jeremy Stevens against Gilbert Melendez.
Yep, that's going to
Jeremy
be a
Stevens,
war.
good fighter, but Gilbert Melendez, man, that dude just comes to fight,
No,
man.
he's changing weight classes, yeah?
I believe so. It dropped down to 145 or 135.
145.
Nick, can you check
Confirmed.
that out for us?
Confirmed.
I
55 to
45ers.
Yeah, he dropped down
45ers.
to 145.
Bobby didn't trust me on that one. I don't blame him.
We did a live broadcast at On the Mat in Pacific Beach out
Wow.
there in San Diego.
PB.
And Jeremy Stevens came down.
I love
and
it.
he had fought Donald Cerrone. And I said, man, this the blah, 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 whatever.
That's
He
a
goes,
war.
well, he hit me with a jab and he broke my eye socket.
Yeah.
He goes, and I ended up fighting for 2 rounds with a broken eye socket, which I didn't even really know till the end.
Yeah, you don't wanna know.
Yeah,
Yeah. Just fight.
When you can take punishment like that,
Yeah,
it
that's
seems like
brutal.
going against Gilbert Melendez is not going to be
He's not going to
know-
eat a lot of punches, but
exactly.
Gilbert Melendez has one speed. Fast.
Right.
Fast. What do you call it? WFO wide friggin' open.
Right.
Right? And he'll stay in there and he'll go, but maybe his best fight days are behind him.
That's a
He's
tough
been in
call.
some real battles.
That's a tough call. I'm going to go with Gilbert Melendez just from the experience factor. And Jeremy Stevens has been through some wars,
Yeah,
man. I
yeah.
mean, that
Yeah.
guy's taking some punishment. So I'm going with Gilbert Melendez.
I'll take Gilbert.
John?
Throw some money out there.
I probably,
It's a
you know,
toss,
yeah,
man.
yeah. It's a fight.
Nick in the producer spot, what do you think, man?
It is a fight. I've always liked the way Lil Heathen fights. I'm gonna have to go against you guys and go with Lil Heathen.
Yeah,
All right,
but at least
we'll
you
get some
know
money
it's
on
going to be
that,
a
Nick.
good fight.
Yeah,
They're going to
it's
come.
gonna
Miguel, what do
definitely
you
be
think?
a
I know you're
good
not on mic, but what you don't make it.
I'm
Want to
gonna
make
go with
it?
Nick, to be honest with you.
You're gonna-
I think so too.
Yeah.
Are we going to... Oh, wait. Is there more?
Yeah, we're almost at the
Okay,
end.
okay.
Both of them are coming off of a couple losses.
A couple losses, yeah.
Yes.
Melendez off of 3, Stevens off of 2.
So they're going to be coming.
So
They're going to be coming to fight.
Guns a-blazing.
They both have
Absolutely.
something to prove.
Absolutely. So, real quick for the people listening to us, you're here, you're at Full Contact Fun Addicts, and we're talking to John Dello. Don't forget, if you want to check it out, you can go to Dello Jiu-Jitsu. It's at 8381 Beach Boulevard in the city of
No.
Stanton.
Catella Avenue.
What'd I say?
8381 Catella Avenue, Unit J, as in John.
Who put Beach Boulevard down? Because
you
you make a right on Catella
Yeah,
for
yeah,
Beach.
right.
Let me. I was running this thing here.
Stanton, California.
Yeah, make sure if
90680.
you want to come check it out, take a class or whatever, you can call 714
We have women's jiu-jitsu, women's cardio boxing, kickboxing. We have a full boxing program. We have pro wrestling if you're so inclined, and of course MMA, jiu-jitsu for MMA.
Absolutely. So you want to go check it out. We're going to talk about that in a minute. We're just going to cover a couple more things now.
Hit it.
The last two I want to cover,
Yep.
Sarah McMahon
Yep.
against Caitlin Vieira. Sarah McMahon has
veteran.
actually went to go train with Team Alpha Male.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what the significance of that is because she's pretty good on her own. Olympic caliber
Sure.
wrestler. I've had her on my other show a couple of times,
Mm-hmm.
and I've told her, well, because she lost to Ronda really quick. I said, does that eat at you and you want to get back to? She goes, you know what? I can't look in the past.
No,
I
you
got to
can't.
look to the future. So this is what I'm going to do
Sure.
or whatever. So
That's a nice thing to say,
Oh,
but
yeah.
anyone with that kind of pedigree who has always been pushing, you know, it keeps, she loses sleep at night about
yeah,
that.
exactly.
Yeah.
But
it helps drive you.
the move to Team Alpha Male, I think she's trying to better herself or whatever.
Sure.
I'm not too familiar with Caitlin Vieira. I know when they show them on the TV, then I'm like, oh yeah, okay.
We can hit up producer Nick. She's Brazilian, yeah?
She is Brazilian. She is 8-0. Ranked number 13, but
Where was she at before she got to UFC? Invicta?
And you know Sarah's going to close the distance, get her to the ground, and
That's exactly the
just
game
take
plan.
care of her. So
Well, isn't that what the Brazilian girl's going to want anyway, right?
probably, I mean, we'll see what happens, but I mean, this is going to make for an interesting fight. Now, we had, like I said, we had Adam Lynn on here last week. Ashley Evans Smith is going to fight Sarah Moraz.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Ashley, I don't know why, with the jump or whatever. I think she went to Colin Oyama or whatever to
Okay.
go start training over there. I don't
Ashley
know-
was always very nice.
Yeah, I don't know what the significance, of that is. I think, I don't know, maybe you just need to change
Sure.
or whatever. But anybody who can beat a man and beat him twice, tap him out in the same thing, got to go with it. Remember when she fought Fallon Fox? And she completely destroyed
Fallon
him?
Fox was not a man. Fallon Fox was a transgender. Waiting
Well
reassignment.
put.
All right.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Okay, but still, I mean, I still have some man strength. I don't
Yeah.
Regardless, because she was
You're
running
born one thing.
Well,
through
okay.
people until she
There's an
ran
argument
up against
there.
That,
Ashley.
okay, that said, that's a good point, right?
There's an
Because
argument there.
Honestly, I remember saying when I heard Ashley was going to fight, I go, Ashley's going to beat Fallon Fox, even though Fallon Fox had fought and won
Right.
a few fights. I go because, frankly, and you know what I'm talking about. Fallon Fox was a gimmick. She wasn't a fighter, right?
True.
It was a gimmick, right? A way to get onto whatever, right? If she had real skills, right? she would have gone on. But I think that, you know, once she came up against a real fighter,
Right. You
like
see what
Ashley
happened.
or some of those other girls, it would have been even worse if it was, you know.
Yeah, and she put her away, man.
Yeah.
We talked about that. As a matter of fact, Adam Lynn said that was one of his greatest accomplishments. You know, we talked about, because he was a fighter and stuff
Yeah.
like that. I said, do you get more out of when you won, or now that you teach people and see them win, do you get more out of it? He said, well, that was probably one of my better moments.
It's always
when
good.
Took
Yeah.
care of Fallon
Sure.
Fox. So Sarah Morez, she was on The Ultimate Fighter when Ronda and Misha were coaches. She's more of a jiu-jitsu gal, got that crazy hair or whatever. That's what she's going to try to do. She's going to try
I'm
to
sure.
get her to the ground,
Yep.
use her wrestling or whatever. But, you know, I haven't really seen Ashley fight lately.
Yeah, she hasn't fought much.
No,
huh?
so, you know, it's going to be...
lost to Vieira's just recently. But before that, she was on I believe it was a 3-5 win streak.
So she has one
Yeah.
loss, but she was on a winning streak.
So she must have been on an undercard of one of the UFC fights or whatever, because I didn't see it.
Where was that last fight at,
Fight
producer
night,
Nick?
April 15th.
Fight night?
Yeah.
Okay.
UFC fight night.
But
So
Yeah.
she's ready to rock.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think
that's
she's-
months
yeah,
ago. That's 5
yeah.
months to
she's
get
gonna
ready
have
and
a
prep.
renewed vigor and
Yep.
and start going out. So look forward to that. I mean, I don't think I'm going to pay that much. My cable bill came over $250 last time.
we're gonna
'cause I
talk
got-
about
I
that.
got both pay-per-views last time.
You're
and
not home
billed me
enough.
they billed me on the same one, so I was like, man, you know, and the wife gets a hold of
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Yeah, she's like, what's this? So, and then before we move on, and of course, I get this I don't know if you do, I get this every day. Conor McGregor, it's just a big hype, it's just a big farce. Floyd Mayweather's going to destroy him or whatever. Now, the question, I'm not going to say who's going to win.
He's in
who's gonna
Floyd's
lose.
house, right?
The question to me that I've been posed a lot to, is it a work? I don't think it is. I think they're going to try to really fight or whatever. But you know what? You know, bringing Pauline Malignaggi in, you know, and
That
we
may
went
be
20
a work.
rounds, and it just happened to be a footage of him pushing him or a knockdown or whatever.
Yeah, I saw it.
So you know, because I hear ticket sales are down. They're not what they thought they were going to be.
Only in-house. Now you're talking about global sales.
Pay-per-view, yeah.
That's where the money is.
Well,
It's
Scotland's got fans like nobody else. They're going to be buying the pay-per-view and coming down.
not a big country,
Yeah,
but you know
but
it's going to
I
be
think
huge.
Ireland does too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What'd I say?
Scotland. But
It's the other island.
Spain, I meant Mexico.
Them people.
Yeah.
Them people. It all falls under the same umbrella.
So it's nice to have me as a co-host. I
That's
just
what I'm
roll
saying,
with
man.
it, but
Yeah,
John will stick it
Jello,
to you.
he'll call you out on it,
It should
man.
be John the Truth De La
Yes.
because he'll bring out the truth.
So what do you think? I mean,
I'm always frank and earnest with women.
Yes.
I like it.
In Chicago, I'm frank, and in New York,
In
I'm
earnest, yeah.
All right, so what do I think of it? Okay,
Yeah.
I have a couple of different opinions, so bear with me.
Go
if
for
you
it.
want to hear that. Conor McGregor is a mixed martial arts champion. He's still a champ somewhere, right?
Yes.
Okay, back in the day, you look at Muhammad Ali, right? You go further back, you look at men like Kimura, you know, who is a jiu-jitsu champion. They he toured the world, taking on, you know, the Gracies. Talk about their famous, you know, experience with Kimura and revisionist history, whatnot. But he also came to the U.S. and he wrestled Luthez, and he went to Canada, and he went all over the world as a martial arts champion, challenging people. They didn't
Right.
have pay-per-view back. They didn't even have TV
Right.
back then.
Yeah.
So, you know, the martial arts championship way was as such going and challenging people, and they tweaked the rules. Sometimes it was a grappling match, sometimes it was a fight match, sometimes
Right.
it was and they played with the rules, and they did that. And so, from my point of view as a martial arts kind of historian, right, I respect that. Bruce Lee, to another extent, was challenging people.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Another martial arts hero, not necessarily a champion, but
Right.
etc. So Muhammad Ali challenged Antonio Inoki, right? And Muhammad Ali had challenged other fighters to fight too, right? And it didn't happen, but that was the mentality. Yes, it's just boxing, but I'm also a fighter.
Right.
Yes, I'm a MMA fighter, but I'm gonna box. So, if Conor McGregor's true heart and fighting spirit is in this, if he wants to fight Floyd Mayweather to beat Floyd Mayweather because he doesn't like and because he's a fighter to the core,
Right.
and he wants to beat Floyd Mayweather at his own game, well then, my hat's off to you, right? Go get him, Conor.
Yeah.
My problem is this. I don't believe that's the case, right? I think it's a money grab. And, you know, when you ask someone, what's their first reaction? When they say, hey, what do you think of Conor McGregor? Oh, they're going to make a lot of money.
That's it.
That doesn't make it okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That doesn't make it okay. You know, there's other people that are making a lot of money off of some crappy shit too.
Yeah.
Right?
The
So,
hype train.
and yeah. And so that doesn't make it okay. If indeed Conor just wants a big payday, right? Then no, I don't like it because he's going to get his ass whooped.
You know
Right?
what? I think his heart's in it though, man. I think as a man,
If
he's
that's
like,
the case.
I got something to prove.
Do you want to stand
And I'm gonna
before the
show
whole
people.
world and get,
Yeah.
you know?
Exactly.
right?
Exactly. And then, I got to see one.
I don't know how it's going to go.
I
None
got
of
to
us
see
do.
one episode of the
I have a
Showtime.
pretty good idea.
I do think Floyd's going to be Floyd because it's Floyd's house.
Yeah.
Well, not only that, Floyd, they're boxing,
Yes.
Right.
right?
Right.
Floyd is the best boxer in the world.
Yes.
All right?
And I got to see.
What would Manny Pacquiao do to Conor McGregor? What would Juan Manuel Marquez do to
Yeah.
McGregor?
can't
What
catch
would
him.
Canelo.
They can't
Canelo
catch him.
Alvarez do?
Yeah.
What would
Triple
Maidana?
G.
What would those guys do to him?
Yeah.
Okay, now, what did Floyd Mayweather do to those guys?
Yeah.
beat them all.
So there you have it.
But
Outboxed.
I got to see.
Did you ever see that movie, The Great White Hype?
As a matter of fact, I did.
All right. What are you guys laughing at?
We love your references.
Watch that movie, and you'll see how it fits together.
Yeah.
Movie is like from the mid '90s, but
Right.
it absolutely plays.
So
But
most of our
I got to see
producers.
the second episode of the All Access for that. And Floyd says, "Oh, I'm not even training for Conor. I took a bike ride in Florida and I rented out a roller rink and I'm not even training stuff like that." I don't believe that. I think
of course
he's putting
not.
it out there like that to make it seem like it, but I think he's
Yeah.
training. I
It's
think
getting
he's,
under
because
Conor's skin, right? Come on.
He ain't gonna let him.
He
do
may
that,
not be
Conor.
real educated, but he's not stupid.
Yeah.
That he has everything to lose.
Yeah.
Connor has nothing to lose. If
Sure.
he loses, they're gonna say, "Well, we knew you're gonna lose anyways because it's a boxer."
It makes you wonder.
And if Floyd loses, they're gonna say, "Dude, you got your ass kicked by a mixed martial arts
And
person."
then it's a
who's
rematch,
never
100 million
even
each
had
again.
a professional fight.
That's right.
Yeah.
Now they had an
So-
amateur boxing
Amateur
fight.
fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So it remains to be seen. But like you said, people. Now I ain't getting that $100 for pay per view is ridiculous.
Yeah.
There's no
Ouch.
way I'm getting a. I'm
What's on
Mexican.
the
and I don't even have
end?
enough
Does
people
anybody
checking
know?
for that.
Is it 10 rounds or 12?
I
Not that it's going to go either.
I believe it's 12.
I think it's 12, and I think they're using 8-ounce
They
gloves.
petitioned to it, but apparently from the rules it's got to be 10 ounce. But
Like that's
they,
going to
they,
matter.
they did petition for the 8 ounce.
Right.
And on that, did you guys actually see the footage of the fight? Where
Malignaggi?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
where
did
he got
see it.
knocked down.
He
get
did
some
look
really
look
good
to me
hits.
like he got knocked down.
He got knocked
Yeah.
down.
Mhm.
In my opinion, he got knocked down. He got hit with
Yeah.
some good shots too.
And in my opinion, Malignaggi might last a whole 2.5 rounds without Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, hey, well, it remains to be seen. But, anyways, once again, you're here. You're at Full Contact Fun-Addicts. My man Don Dole over here. We got John Dello. We're going to start talking about a little bit about jiu-jitsu and stuff like that. But real quick, Miguel has something to say. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, going back to that Mayweather McGregor thing. Do they even have an undercard for that yet?
That
They
was
do.
my next question.
They do.
They do.
They announced a couple today. I vaguely saw it.
Yes,
on my
it's
computer this
Nick
morning.
Diaz against Ricky Hatton, and yes, and
And it's Manny
Adrian
Pacquiao
Broner.
against the winner of Demetrius Johnson, and it's going to be the next one. But yeah, who's even going to watch that
Yeah.
undercard? You
Yeah.
know, everybody's gonna be waiting
no,
for
wait,
that.
hold on. One of the, and this is a whole separate subject. You guys remember when people just say Don King has ruined boxing,
Yes.
and then you'd watch his fight card, right? And he would have Mike Tyson
Right.
as the main event. But do you remember the undercards then?
Absolutely.
Julio
not.
Cesar Chavez would fight on there, and
On the undercard?
yeah, and Pernell Whitaker would fight on there. All these guys would fight on there, and you'd have a really good undercard, right? And everyone's like, "Oh, he didn't rip me off. I gave him $50 for this," and there were a bunch because
Yeah.
I'm a fight fan, and I spent a whole night watching the fights. Me and some of my friends who like the fights, we watched the whole thing.
Right.
All right. And Oscar De La Hoya gets on there, and what is it, Golden Boy Promotions, and he puts on his card, and it's I don't know, who does he promote?
Marquez and those guys.
That's your main event, and then the undercard is shit, right? Bob Arum would do the same thing. He'd have Oscar De La Hoya and his guy main event, and then you'd have like Butterbean, and then you'd have no, it's true. Then you'd have a women's
Butterbean.
fight, and then guys make, and you'd have a women's fight with Christy Martin and some other
Yeah.
female tomato can, and then you'd have like someone making their debut, and you spent the same amount of money, and so undercard is important if you're a fight fan. I mean, UFC people want to see the undercard, right?
Yeah.
Well, boxing people, real boxing fans want to see the undercard, right? I do.
That's
Sure.
a lot of questions, though. They're going to have undercard MMA and bring the kid. Because remember they did
No,
that.
It's a boxing match. It's
they
going to
did
be
that,
boxing.
They had like the glory
Yeah. That
would be
ring,
cool.
and then they had the cage next to it.
Sure.
That would
and
be
they
cool.
did half and half or whatever.
That'd be kinda cool if they
So all
did
the
mix
people
it
on
up,
this
but I
side,
doubt
you
it.
could see crap because they were behind the cage. And
Yeah.
these people didn't get to see anything because they were behind the ring. So
It's hard to see fights
yeah,
inside a cage.
It remains to be seen. But Anyways,
Let's see if they get that interesting with this. I doubt it. It's going to be a boxing match.
Yeah.
All the way through,
yeah,
start
I
to
think-
finish.
I think so. But God, you know that it piques that curiosity.
Sure.
You just want to see what's going to happen.
Well,
or
yeah, we like
whatever.
to see people mix things up.
Yeah,
Come
it's
on.
crazy, but
As a viewer, that's what you want. Keep me interested.
We'll check it out, see what happens or whatever. It just remains
Coming
to be
up,
seen.
man.
But
3
it's
weeks.
just a circus,
2
man.
weeks.
People, everybody's talking about it. You know, it's the main thing. So,
Yep.
anyways, we'll see what happens with that. But
We're in the countdown.
yeah, anyways, talking with John. And of
Yes,
course, Dondo over here on
you
my
got
right,
it,
talking
man.
a little jujitsu. We're talking at the beginning about jujitsu and for lack of a better term, like the purity of it with the gi and stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that. And no, it's not grappling. You're still going for submissions and stuff like that. So recently got to go to the tournament. Now, was it all gi? Was it no gi or was it half and
the
half?
first day was gi.
Mm-hmm.
The second day was no gi.
Okay. So, god dang, 2 days at Cerritos College?
It was a nightmare. It was, the first night,
It
the
was
first
only
day. Oh my
104.
God, the bastards who were running that were so like into making sure they got their $10 from everybody that walked through the door that they gated the rear entrance to the door. Right, they gate the emergency exits,
Right.
because they didn't want anyone sneaking in. Right, so those doors stayed locked and closed, and there was no air. Hundreds of people in that gymnasium, and you were rebreathing someone else's air or whatever else came out.
Oh, that's
right?
terrible.
And finally,
you know how it is, man. We talk a lot about BO and farts and all that.
Oh, yeah.
Killing you over there. Now, do we actually have some footage, Robert, on that, or are we good with that?
We got it coming up. Producer
Let's-
Robert's got
Let's
some
just take a
footage
quick
from
look at
it was-
who you got.
the
It
North
was,
American
yeah,
Brazilian
there-
Jiu-Jitsu Federation.
It was well run, as
Yeah.
far as tournaments go.
It's our boy Jimbo.
I've
Jim
been,
McClarty.
Okay, this is Jimmy McClarty up
Oh,
against
yeah, he's the one who refereed some of the
That's
OCCW
right.
matches.
Right,
It's our
right.
boy. Our boy in the blue, on the blue
and
and
the
the
guy in
black.
the blue is one of the 10th Planet guys. I believe it's from Burbank. Uh,
Yeah, this was the Sunday match. I believe it's a little bit in the,
as you can
closer
see,
to
it's
the end.
yes. As you can see, it's no gi, and there's not as many people crammed in there.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like a shipping container. So, so, I don't know what that means. I've heard you say that before. It's like a shipping container.
Yes.
I don't know what that means. Favi, I'm quoting from
Jimbo
Fabi
doing real
Jimbo.
good. Doing some grip fighting. Trying to take control.
I was really pleased with this cat here in the pants.
Yeah.
Right? He didn't just walk up and pull guard.
I was going to
No.
say, you said 10th Planet, I thought I was going to definitely butt scoot and try to start going for the legs.
Well, he just I think he took pride because I watched this other match. He took the guy down and was real assertive with his takedowns and for the most part, you know what? I found that during the no-gi tournament there were more takedown attempts than there were at the gi tournament, which shocked and chagrined me.
Here goes Jim Bob on top. Looks like he's got mount. Going for that hammer choke.
So Jimmy's
So he doesn't get the points till he
they
takes that leg
freeze
through,
that
right?
freeze that foot, but and for some reason there's no points for a takedown. Did it look like a takedown to you?
It looked like a fall down.
Well,
The way the points were happening was, with lack of a better term, it was crap.
Yeah, it's like this, right? If you look at a wrestling match and someone sits down or lays
Okay, now
down,
he's got full mount. Did he get the points for that?
yeah.
Okay. Sorry, go ahead.
If you look at a wrestling match and someone concedes the takedown, the other guy gets 2 points for the takedown, whether he friggin' lifted him off the ground and slammed him or not.
Yeah.
There's a submission attempt.
Looks like a head and arm.
It was an
Right.
attempt. Yeah, he sat through, but a little deep.
Lifted
there.
him up off the
Yes.
ground. I remember telling him, no, you have
Without
to push
making
his,
him bear his weight,
to push his arm into his neck.
but maintains the
Jimmy
position.
keeping the presence of mind. Take his
Good.
back.
Takes his back like butter.
People talk about, oh, Jimmy's so hard to pass his guard. Jimmy's so hard. It's those giant feet of his, right? Like,
Water skis.
yes.
Doing really good though. A lot of control. Jimmy's only been at the game a couple years and just.
But
He's got to.
you get points for taking the back and getting your hooks in, right?
Oh yeah, maintaining that position.
He got points. It's unfortunate we can't see, the point score, right? And they
Yeah,
have
we're
one
at
of those little display screens, which is kind of nice, so that the competitors can see it.
That referee looks familiar. Is that Harold Bucambio?
Yeah, who's that?
Oh wow. He fought Thomas Kenny at Long Beach Fight.
No, I don't think that's him. It's some Brazilian guy. No, he is. He's a Brazilian guy. You know what I really liked about the referees is they had those button-down shirts.
Yes.
All of them had those button-down spandex shirts. I was like, hey, that's pretty cool.
So say we'll get some of those made for you.
Yeah.
Is that what they call a blouse?
They're wearing blouse.
So you see Jimmy on his back.
Yeah, figure four them.
Figure four,
and that really hurts, right? And
you can see he's
It messes
struggling.
up the breathing a little
And
bit.
is this blue belt division or?
Yeah, blue belt.
this is the open division, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is the open division. And
But Jimmy, look at
I
that.
see he hooked that leg.
Yeah, he hooked that leg.
See
It's a
how he's
little bit of a
barring the
steering wheel.
arm?
He's got
Yeah.
him. A lot of control.
this kid was tough. You know, he looked nerdy and kind of soft. But no, I'm sorry. I'm not putting him down. Nothing wrong with being nerdy.
Oh, it didn't sound like it at all.
Oh, man. No, but he was tough. He hung in there, and he had a great attitude. He was a nice kid. I liked him a lot.
Yep.
You know, you're getting old when 30-year-old dudes are kids to you.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. But he was a team player, man. He went out there and slapped hands with everybody. It wasn't like
Yeah.
he was full of ego.
And you said
He put his best game out there.
You said he came from 10th Planet Burbank?
Burbank.
Yeah, I don't. That's what I heard. I don't. You know, I cannot confirm nor deny.
Here goes Jimmy with another attempt.
Flatten him out.
Heavy hips.
I can't really see. Is he going for the arm?
Now, here's something you might want to think
He was
about.
going for the Who's Your Daddy right off the bat right there.
To take the back again.
Yeah.
Here's something to think about, and I told a couple of the other instructors that I knew that were there. I go, "Are you going to sequester your students here for the next couple of days?" He's like, "What are you talking about?" I go, "Okay, look at those mats, all right? How many matches do you think were on those mats?
Quite a
On
few.
one of those mats, hundreds.
Yeah.
How many times do you figure they mopped that mat? All right,
Never.
And you have to question some of the hygiene of some of your competitors,
Yes.
right? So if one person, let's say one person, goes to this tournament with contagious ringworm and competes,
Everybody's going
Every
to
day
go.
it's
Joe's
going to
got
go everywhere, right? It's going to go everywhere. So I tell the boys, you know, you're going to be sequestered for a couple days, right? And guess what happens? They don't listen. They show up to roll the next day. So fortunately, I have never caught ringworm in my life, and we mop the mats 3 or 4. Oh, there's that body triangle. Yeah.
D-tap?
Time ran out. I
Oh,
believe.
okay.
Time ran
Looked like
out.
he had him almost in a full Nelson.
Anyway,
That's
so,
what
yeah, I
somebody
told
was-
him to put a full Nelson
Yeah,
on
yeah,
because
yeah.
the guy kept trapping his arms.
Yeah.
I go, you know what? I haven't seen anyone tap out to a full Nelson today. So. And then there's Tommy.
There's Tom working hard over there.
teammate,
There goes Tom.
And he just choked him
He
from
did good.
a guillotine.
Real pumped up.
He was very excited, and I told him, hey, let's take it easy. Let's
No,
not,
he did good.
let's
though.
not act like cholos.
You go, Tom. You go, Tom.
Hey, but it's
Mustache
good. You know,
Tom.
we get that a lot. I get that a lot on my other show too. You know, it's such a controversy. You're going back and forth. They keep saying how well. Oh, you got an interview there?
Yeah, we got a little interview with Chad George.
Oh yeah, from CMA. Go ahead and run that real
CMMA
quick.
out in Gardena. Thank you, Chad.
Yes, Chad can hold very still for a long period of time.
Yeah, look at that. He can
Okay.
pose.
All right, we're here, full contact Fun-Addicts at the North American Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu Federation tournament here in Cerritos. Got a special guest here, Chad George. You might know him from the old days at WEC, most recently with Bellator. How you doing?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm doing wonderful, man. Great to have you. What brings you here today?
Watching my students compete, supporting local jiu-jitsu, and having some fun.
Very cool, cool. And the name of your dojo again?
California Mixed Martial Arts, CMMA.
CMMA. And you guys are located in?
We are in Gardena, just outside of LAX, Long Beach area.
I know Gardena really well. That's really good to hear. You know, we do another segment of this too where we go, we call it Gym Crashers. We're going to come out and see you guys.
Come down anytime.
That's cool. I love that. I love that. How'd you guys do today?
Good. We just had our purple belt, just won the gold. We had a couple. We only had about 6-7 people compete today. All of them did really well. Great learning experience. Some of them won, some of them learned. So you know that's the whole process.
Yeah. We all want to learn. Absolutely want to win, but learning's much more important in the game.
I disagree.
Looking at the future, I saw you were most recently with Bellator. What's going on in the fighting world for you?
We're waiting for them. So we're waiting, not for them, we're waiting to see what happens next. I actually stepped away from the game for a little while to focus on jiu-jitsu. And this year will be kind of my step back into the game. So the last year and a half, 2 years, I've really focused on competing at the high levels of grappling. And so we'll see what the next opportunity comes around. I was supposed to fight actually last week, but my opponent backed out. So I went through the whole training camp. But you know, that's part of it. So back on the wheel, and we'll wait to see what happens next.
Yeah, I remember a lot of your fights were won by submission, so I know you're a jiu-jitsu guy.
You know, actually, believe it or not, I started boxing and wrestling first, and that's where I started with this whole journey. And then I just fell in love with jiu-jitsu, and now I feel like I can not only hang and do what I do with anybody in the world on the ground. So getting back into MMA is something that I really wanted to do, and I'm excited to get back into it.
Very cool. I appreciate your time today, Chad. It's awesome. Big fan. Cool, man.
Yeah, he totally got robbed by Bellator.
Did he really?
Yeah, I talked to him maybe about 6 weeks after that, and he said they told him that he wasn't a very exciting fighter or whatever. So I don't know what they're looking for
Wasn't
or
a
whatever.
very
But go ahead,
exciting
Robert.
fighter.
Yeah, just a quick update. There's a lot of stuff in the chat room, so I
Who do we
figured
got
I'll
out there?
So we got a James.
You got guys creating fake accounts again?
No, we got a James W. Jones the third. Says,
Oh, right on.
"You're so handsome, Favi."
Oh, everybody knows that.
And Manuel.
Take a closer look, James W. Jones. Come on, see this? See this? Come on.
Manuel Penal says, "Sup, Favi."
Big fan. Big
Nicolette
fan.
Marie, she said Favi and a heart.
Wow.
We got Andrew. Andrew says Favi shirt is on point.
Oh, yeah, Cody Rhodes.
Yeah.
American Nightmare.
No, it's just Cody. All right. Yeah, he's pretty awesome.
Yeah, no doubt. Oh, and Nicolette Marie is the one who bought it for me, so thank you for that, too.
Then James Jones says, "I want to fight Favi in my wrestling singlet greased up in Vaseline."
Yeah,
Woo!
unfortunately, my Speedos are in the cleaner, so I won't be able to do that, but we'll work on that. We'll talk about it.
He
Is
said
that
it
a
should
friend
be
of
on
yours?
the.
Did you know that guy?
Actually, he does the wrestling on my Wednesday show. Actually, from Iowa. Wrestled.
What kind
No, he
of
wrestled
wrestling?
at. I forget. Sorry, James.
Custom matches?
Yeah, no, not those custom matches.
And then
But we talk a lot about Iowa and about the collegiate stuff, and he gets that for me.
Yeah, he also said on the undercard it's you and him on the undercard. And then we got Rick Campos, John Moon.
John Moon. Never heard of him.
We got Mikey O'Shea.
What are they saying?
He says
hanging out.
Malice versus King Favi 3, last man standing, first blood.
That's
cage
Mikey
match.
O'Shea,
yeah.
isn't it? Yes.
Just for the record, I hit him with brass knuckles. Turnaround was right there. I don't.
He hit me with a cowbell, too.
Hit him straight with brass knuckles. And he's right there. So who knows? Hey, but it's good that those guys are watching, man. We appreciate it.
Then we got Frank Park.
Oh! The Korean catastrophe.
Frank.
Frank Park. How are you, Frank Park?
Dude, I love you to death, but the story never goes away. Where every time I talk to Delo, we
I
talk
can
about
tell
Frank Park.
stories about Frank
I
Park.
can remember constantly. We'd be rolling, man. All of a sudden, I'd see you, and you hear this commotion. Be telling Frank, "Get out, get your stuff and get out." Right? How many times have you thrown out of the
I don't know.
dojo?
Not as many as Tommy has. Yeah, no, you
And
know.
he'd just be walking. I go, what?
Oh man, yeah, Frank is definitely one of a kind.
Hey, but he's always been there. And,
Giant square
yeah,
head,
yeah.
man.
And he's always been working hard. But
He's a good dude. And hi to the baby, hi to Heather.
absolutely.
His wife.
Well, that's why he's got the anger in him. New father ain't getting no sleep, man. He's got to keep going. But real quick, since we're running up against the clock, Robert, can we? As soon as you're done there, can we go ahead and run that footage of Delo Jiu-Jitsu?
Yep, and then we got Bree's in there.
Who?
Bree, Mrs. Producer Nick's wife.
Yeah, and some other people, but you know, we got to move on. So let me get that video up.
Go for it. Now, this is a little thing we shot at Delo's. He's got to see a little bit of it, but not all of it. So don't forget, if you want to come check it out, 8381 Catella, not Beach Boulevard.
Unit J.
If you get to Dale, you passed it. All right, so make sure you
Yeah.
make that left right there and check out Unit J. Big ups to Robert for cleaning it up, man. We're here. We're at
the
Delo Jiu-Jitsu. It's at 8381 in the city of Stanton. We're going to take you through, take a little look, show a little wrestling, show a little boxing, head upstairs, and show Delo at work. All right, this is when you first come in. Got a little seating area. Got the kids over here hanging out. Over here, this is Delo-O's desk. Some of his accomplishments back over here. You can see the little pictures and stuff right here. This is where Delo-O usually sits, and this is where he usually sits and tells me, "No, you can't have that match. No, you're not going to wrestle this person." Take a look over here. Delo-O's, I think this is one of his last fights right here. See some people's holding up his hand. So let's keep going. All right, this is where it all takes place. This is the ring right here. This is where the guys train pro wrestling. As you can see, Delo teaches jiu-jitsu down here. Once in a while, a little MMA. If you pan over to the right, you got Bruce over there teaching a boxing class. Making sure the guys, usually on Thursday, it's boxing and stuff like that. So they're doing boxing. Sometimes they're wrestling over here. That's where it all takes place. Got the big window open for the BO and farts. So let's head upstairs and check out the jiu-jitsu. All right, if you can see, we're upstairs now. That was all downstairs. Look over here, this is where they keep all the equipment. Looks a little messy, put your bags in. Microwave for when Delo has to spend the night. Little refrigerator. Let's see what they got in the fridge. Looks like somebody's lunch. And a couple of used juices in there. Go ahead, pause. All right, so we're back here. We're in the main jiu-jitsu room over here. Delo's just getting ready to go over some techniques. So why don't we take a quick look inside? Don't whatever you do, don't put your shoes on the mat. Film from
Your hands are up.
You're right in the mat. Now, okay, one more time. Rich, let me start. Okay? So, smaller person, right? It's okay. Maybe the same thing. You get, like I said, you get, I guess Bree said it best, you get it like a joystick, right? You move your body, boom, grab that pant leg. Legs are up high. You're gonna drag the leg along the ground. Don't lift it straight towards you like a barbell, or barbell, yeah, dumbbell, right? Slide this here, push your opponent over, hold on to both the sleeve and the pant leg till you're mounted. Get your modification on that L sweep. Any questions? Go to it. All right, where's your partner? Yeah, I know.
That's a little bit of spawn right there. All right, everybody, we're here, still hanging at Del O Jiu-Jitsu classes, just about to get finished, but I got my man Iwi right here, who's been here for quite some time. So real quick for the people listening to us at Full Contact Fun-Addicts, tell me what you think about John Del O as an instructor or as a friend.
Yeah, I just want to let you guys know he's legit. So not only are you going to get what you deserve when you pay for it, but you're part of a family, and we stick together. John De La O knows his stuff. You're not going to learn anything better anywhere else. You might learn like different sayings for it, like a different move for the call or a different call for the move, but it's still the same stuff. De La O's been teaching for a long time. I've been here a long time. Been here off and on. Come back. John and I both beat cancer, and so he's legit. So come in, check us out.
It's awesome, man. That Del O Jiu-Jitsu gets you to the promised land. All right, be right back. All right, everybody, we're back here at Del O Jiu-Jitsu. Got my man Randy Haskell right here, another one of the students that's been here for quite some time. Randy, tell us all about Del O Jiu-Jitsu and what it means to you to be part of the Jiu-Jitsu family.
Yo, what's up, guys? So I've been with John De La O for about 12 years now, and so we just did a Thursday class, which was about an hour on the ground of Jiu-Jitsu, and then we take it to 30 or 45 minutes standing up. Basically, Jiu-Jitsu over here is realistic. Like, our Jiu-Jitsu has to work in the street, on the mat in the tournament, or in the cage, and John has taken it from the old school Jiu-Jitsu of if you can't take it to the ground to finish the guy, if you can't defend yourself with punches, if you can't do it in a fight, any area that the fight has to go, whether it be sport, cage, street, wherever, that's what we train. We make sure we're prepared for all scenarios, and we work hard, we stick together, we're a team, and everybody's here to help you get better. There's no egos here. If there is, they get pushed out the door pretty quick.
That's what I'm talking about. All right, everybody, for the people listening to us here at Full Contact Fun-Addicts, Randy Haskell talking about that Del O Jiu-Jitsu. Be right back.
I like how you emphasize that.
All right, everybody, we're back. You got to take a look at Del O Jiu-Jitsu from the beginning. Got to take a look at where the boxing takes place, of course, the wrestling, and upstairs. Not only one, but two separate Jiu-Jitsu places. One with full-blown air conditioning, so I'm going to have to take the Thursday class so I can fit in with the women and take that. That's exactly why I'm saying it. So talk a little bit to Randy, talk a little bit to Iwi about what it's like going to Del O Jiu-Jitsu, because they've been with you for such a long time. Right. So real quick for the people listening to us at Full Contact Fun-Addicts, give us a wrap-up, man. I heard you just talking, saying, hey, you got to take the MMA class if you want to better yourself. So in a quick little nutshell, give us the what it's like to be with the Del O Jiu-Jitsu family.
Okay, well, Del O Jiu-Jitsu was founded in 1994 by myself, and then reestablished in 2001 with my brother and myself, and at the time my son and daughter. So we've been at this for a long time. There's a book out called From Valetudo to MMA, and that's pretty much how Del O Jiu-Jitsu has grown. You know, Jiu-Jitsu, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu as it was called at the time, and they still call it that in some areas,
right,
was a fighting art. And as time's marched on, it's become more of a sport of art, or it's been more separated and specialized. Del O Jiu-Jitsu is a fighting art. It is the essence of martial arts, of Jiu-Jitsu, the way I learned it, and we compete at MMA. We compete in gi and no gi competition.
We have a tournament coming up.
We have one this weekend at Cerritos City College. Come check it out. By the time you see this, it'll be over, and we will have won first place in a bunch of divisions.
It's good because we can talk about it.
Exactly.
But real quick for the people listening to us, it's at 8381 Catella Avenue, and it's Suite
Unit J, as in John De La O.
So don't forget, we get
Stanton, California. That's actually in Orange County. Stanton, look it up.
Yeah, I always say it's close to Knott's Berry Farm.
Yes, close to Knott's Berry Farm.
So if you want to check it out. So we actually got to take a look to check out the Jiu-Jitsu class itself, which was the women's class. So real quick, for the people listening before we wrap up, is it specific classes on specific days? And if it is, tell them about it.
Every night at 7 p.m. we have De La O Jiu-Jitsu for MMA, for Jiu-Jitsu, for your life. Every morning at 11 a.m., except for Wednesday. And then we also have a Sunday 9 a.m. class.
Perfect. So if you want to come and check it out, make sure you come and check it out. For the people listening to us at Full Contact Fun-Addicts.
How do you say it?
We'll be right back. Full Fun. See, now you messed up.
Is it
Full
Fun
Contact
Addicts?
Fun-Addicts. We'll be right back with Robert.
You're a
and
fanatic.
He's with us in the
You're a
studio.
fanatic.
That was good. That was good.
Hey, but it's good though, so that people kind of, because that
It's
happens.
inside look,
There's-
man. I
Yeah, there's
love
like
it.
an intimidation factor.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people go, oh man, I don't want to see these guys. I might get balled up and stuff like that. We talked a little bit before. I think it was on the first show, if you remember, Dondo and Miguel.
Or what did you
When
talk
I was
about? My
no,
infamous
when I
temper?
was working, when we were at I think it was when you were on Lincoln.
Okay.
Avenue. This big bodybuilder dude came
Oh,
in.
were you there
or
for that?
whatever.
That
Yeah,
poor
and you,
guy.
I can't remember who you put him up against.
Tommy.
No, it was somebody who was real tall and real thin. I can't remember who it was. And dude, he just ate him alive. And that bodybuilder was like, I want nothing to do with this. He turned around and walked out.
I remember
And
that.
I told John, I said, hey man, aren't you losing business or whatever? He says, look man, this guy came in with an ego. And I showed him, what it could be. If he would have turned to me and said, you know what, dude, I'm completely, I'm totally wrong, dude. I got to know what this jiu-jitsu
Hell
is
yeah.
about because this dude just wiped up the mat with me.
Yeah.
That separates it. If he just came.
That's a story from everyone that
Yeah.
continued.
Yeah.
Not the guys that walk out the door.
Yeah.
I also gave the story of me too when you over there in Lincoln and you took me over there and you said, I'm going to put you to roll with this girl. And I said, oh man, she's warming up. And I said, man,
was
I don't,
Christina,
I don't
yeah.
hurt no here.
Yeah.
And I got choked out not once, but twice. And I got to admit, I said, hey man, I'm embarrassed, dude, And you said, see, that's why I'm showing you. It doesn't matter how big you are or whatever. If you know the technique and you know what you're doing, so do you still, that's still got to go for today, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, back then it was still kind of a mystery to the mainstream,
Yes.
right? And now, I'm sorry, my phone keeps.
Oh, I know who that is. Hold on a second. I'll do a public service message. Lindsay Lohan, he can't pick you up right now, okay? You're going to have to find somebody else.
Whoa.
Go ahead.
Anyway,
Get to the
so yeah. So where were we? Okay, so yeah, it was still a mystery to people. What is that? What now it's worse than a mystery. Everyone seems to think because they see it on TV or they see it online that they know so much about it. Right. So nothing is more aggravating and tests my sales ability more than someone say, "Well, you guys are just doing jujitsu." What do you mean just doing jujitsu? Well, that's just groundwork. I'm like, okay, jujitsu is a big part of or groundwork is a big part of jujitsu. Or they'll see us standing up and doing the. Oh, you're doing wrestling? No, it's jujitsu. Says it. It's like that commercial with iced tea, lemonade. No, iced tea or iced tea, lemonade.
Well, right before we did that ending, or where I interviewed you at the end, there was a young kid, and you said, look, you got to come and take the MMA class. If this is what you want to do, you have to. I can't make you do it, or whatever. So,
I was yelling at him. Actually,
not so much tough love or whatever, but the truth is the truth. You said, hey, look, if you're paying and you're coming here to learn, you got to get in there. You can't just come and go through the motions.
Yeah, you can't just come in and hit the bags and treat it like a gym, right? Exactly, and there's a lot of that. Not so much because I don't let people come in and just hit the bags, right? You have to take a class,
right?
Whether it's the boxing program, whether it's the jiu-jitsu classes, the MMA classes, the Muay Thai Nicks classes. So
Muay Thai Nick.
So yeah, so everything is structured there. It's not. We don't have a lot of room for. For people to wander around just hitting stuff and getting in the way.
Right.
And so, is it the ideal business model? Probably not, right? But it's legit. You come in and you get treated like a human being,
right?
And you'll come to make friends and you'll come to learn things and you'll meet people and you'll meet cool people and you'll meet people that aren't so cool, and then. People you thought were cool turn out to be knuckleheads. So it happens.
Absolutely. But, people think it's so easy to open up a dojo. Oh, I just get a building, I throw some mats out, we're
No
good
way.
to go.
Not going to happen.
Because you went from, I remember the one on Lincoln, then to where you're at now, but you went to four different
we grew,
places in there. Yeah.
Right? And then we shrunk. But we were growing. We had the cage in there, we had the ring in there, we had the mats in there, then we had the upstairs, and we had the bag room, and then all that. It's an ebb and flow type of thing. We have schools on either side of us that have come and gone, right? A lot of them, right? And there's so many of them. It's like that have come and gone. They'll open and close, open and close. Right. There's gonna be a lot more closing now that the UFC gyms are proliferating. But they'll open and close, and it's like you're dealing with the same one the whole time because they come and go so often. You know, so. But martial arts has always been like that, you know.
Right, so...
Chuck Norris had a bunch of schools and had to close them down because they went bankrupt.
Exactly.
Chuck Norris.
Exactly.
You know?
But because it seems like it changes. It seems like it's like the UFC.
There are trends, just like anything else.
It was all Hoist Gracie when it was all jiu-jitsu. And then when Chuck Liddell was champ, everybody wanted to learn their stand-up skills and stuff like that. It kind of fluctuates. So for De La O Jiu-Jitsu itself, what's the goal? Would you like to expand more and get a bigger building?
Well, we just opened the mini gym.
Right.
The mini dojo. Down here at Next Level Fitness. Right?
Next Level Sports Complex in Garden Grove.
So do you teach private here? Or?
We do private and group classes.
That's right. Come on down.
John, why don't you tell them when the...
Absolutely. We're here Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. Tuesday and Thursday at 6 p.m., Saturday at noon. But we are adjusting that schedule to meet the needs of anybody who does come in and wants to do privates, wants to do group classes, whatever they want to do. And we're going to incorporate... Nick, Muay Thai Nick's going to be over here teaching class as well.
Wow.
So you're not just going to get
really
the ground, you're going to get some Muay Thai in there too.
And Friday at 6 o'clock.
Friday, we're doing Full Contact Friday here at 6 p.m. as well.
Stand up to ground. You start with your hands and your feet.
That's
go
right.
with the takedowns and you work on the ground. Very important. And it's what also is important is that it's in a safe environment.
Yes.
You know, you don't just have meatheads looking to tear each other's head off. Right?
No, we're here to learn. We're here to grow and learn and teach.
I can speak
with each other
from experience because when I made the mistake of telling on my other show, saying that Harold Lucambio knocked out Thomas Kenny. I didn't mean to say brutally knocked out, but I said it.
Oh, you told me about that.
I couldn't.
The harsh words, Fabi.
Dude,
he's probably watching right now. Might want to correct that one.
Yeah, 5-minute rounds with the students, and I was just completely gassed, burnt, and he was just, he was digging his knuckles in my tricep.
He loves to do that.
And I'm thinking, I'm just gonna die. And then De La O came out. It was like De La O comes out and goes, what the hell's going on here? Get off of him right now. Get it. He's had enough. Get out of there or whatever. I was like, thank you, Jesus.
Talk about Tom Kenny. Yeah. Well, let's just put it this way. Bullying doesn't end with graduation.
But you know what? I said it. I had to admit that I said it. And sometimes you got to pay the price or whatever.
Yeah.
Now, with that being said, I'm telling you, man, I've had my Wednesday show forever. And I have constantly heard people say, what happened to Long Beach Fight Night? Is it going to come back? Will it ever? Because we talked on the show. We talked about it. So many. Carla Esparza came out of there. Henry came out of there. So many people.
What's his name? The guy who's fighting now. He fought Frank.
Yeah. Tony Ferguson.
Tony Ferguson.
Yeah. Well, here's how it works. Right?
Go ahead.
And you know my brother. He's like the opposite of me. We are yin. He is yang.
I would say that's putting it lightly.
Okay. Right. He did everything by the book.
Right.
Every I dotted, every T crossed. Right. When the California State Athletic Commission at the time was led by Armando Garcia, and later on by George Dodd, I think his name was, or Dodd. Yeah, Dodd.
There we go.
So they were so incompetent and so selectively enforcing their laws and bylaws. They nickel and dimed any chance of making a profit out of Long Beach Fight Night. Okay, but for instance, we're set up. We have the ring. They tell us you need a 5-roped ring because we did it in a ring rather than a cage because we wanted our live audience to actually see the action.
Right.
If you've been to smaller shows with small cages, it's very difficult in the crowd to see. You know, and if you look, to be fair, if you have a cage in the middle of your fight, and the fight's going on, it goes to the ground, there will always be some portion of your audience whose vision is blocked. Always. No matter where they are in the cage, those are blocking, the pillars are blocking, someone's vision. Usually two sides.
Right.
Okay.
But you must have took that into consideration because there was no bad spot
No,
at
there
that
was
place.
no. The way that was set up, it was set up, like an NCAA type of basketball thing. And the ring was enormous. It was a ring and not a cage. So there wasn't any obstruction, right? To the view. In any case, so we had, we would have a 5-rope ring and we would have it all ready to go. It was beautiful. It was the best ring in the business, right? It's nicer than anything else.
Oh, yeah.
And some bureaucrat paper pusher with nothing to do, right? Nothing to do, no authority, nothing, would say, fight's going to have to be canceled because you guys don't have the bottom rope padded with some sort of ethafoam to go all the way around. I'm like, that's not in the rules.
I heard him even say one time, these ropes are way too loose.
Yeah.
We're going to have to cancel the whole thing.
Yeah, they said, well, it's going to stop. I go, no, it's not, right? And so, and my brother comes to me one time. He says, explain to me why you are arguing with these gentlemen over every detail. Why are you fighting with them tooth and nail and everything? Why do you? I go, because if I fight them all now, they will not pencil screw us over. They will not, they won't. They'll walk away when it comes to some little idea in their head they want to, because that's what they are. They just want to screw with you.
Well,
that's
because you would get that speech. See, a lot of people don't understand what it's like to put on a fight.
The state athletic commission is the biggest hurdle to professional MMA.
I just remember the speech before they'd start anything, going over the rules or anything, and say, first of all, we are state workers. We are not rent-a-cops. We are from the state, and they would make this whole big speech. Yeah. And I could just see John, I could see the wheels just spinning in his head because he was so angry. But
go ahead. Okay, so you asked me why there's no Long Beach Fight Night. Okay, that said, you have to pay enormous fees, licensing fees to put on a pro show. You have to pay the state, you have to pay for and it's enormous, and you have to pay all these other fees, and you have to have the state inspectors, right? And you have to have the state judges, and you have to have the state head inspector. All these people here, right? Mm-hmm. And the fees are enormous. The fees on top of fees on top of fees, right? Okay, so someone got the brilliant idea, and I could see through it, and I told all of you, and none of you backed us. I said they're going to try to pass amateur MMA, right? And they're not going to have to pay the fighters. And because it was sanctioned, governed by CAMO, right? SCAMO, whatever you want to call it, you won't have to pay those fees. You won't have to. Their fees are a fraction of what you have to pay to put on a pro show, okay? You don't have to use all of their inspectors that you have to for a pro show. You don't have to pay. It's infinitesimally smaller to put on an amateur show. Right. But here's the thing. You can pass it off as a pro show. It's in a cage. They're punching each other as hard as they can. They're serving booze. You got Hoochie Mama's holding the ring cargo, right? So you don't see elbows. But the average Joe, there is no clear visual distinction between amateur and pro MMA in California. And if you watch amateur boxing, you'll know you're watching amateur boxing. Right. Jerseys and headgear, big white gloves, right? Yeah. So what happened was all these guys who were doing pro shows realized, well, we can make more money, pay less money out, not have to pay the fighters, not have to pay the state fees, not have to pay for all these things, and we can sell the same look-alike. Like it's like a knockoff, basically. It's a knockoff. Bootleg. Yeah. And they're making money. Now ask yourself, why are there so many more amateur shows in California than there are pro shows? And frankly, because it's a knockoff.
But see, that's what
and my brother had to do everything by the book, right?
And sometimes he'd be there till midnight, redoing contracts. And see, people don't see that.
Sure.
People don't see all the stuff that goes into it.
That's a lot of work.
This guy doesn't make weight. You got to switch up the contract. Yeah. You got to wait for him. Sometimes he was there till sometimes I think he even spend the night.
No, he would
there in the trailer or whatever because he'd have so little time to do it. But regardless of what happened or was said, it was far and away one of the best things that happened.
Yeah.
I mean, so many good. I got my other job from King of the Cage out of there and stuff like that. Well, so everybody all prospered from it.
There's another show in Long Beach now. It's called Ready for War. It's at the Pyramid. I don't know exactly where it is. I remember sending you guys some information on it. Yeah. They're using a lot of the guys that we used in the first Long Beach fight. Anthony McDavid. Right. Remember him? Right. That maniac. Yeah. Karan Darbedian. Yep. Right. That guy's a really tough, really talented fighter. I don't know what happened to him after he stopped fighting for us. There's a lot. One of the Diaz, if I'm not mistaken, one of the Diaz guys, Carl Parisian, is scheduled to fight on that, and that's in Long Beach at the Pyramid. So we'll see. Yeah, I wish them all the luck in the world. I don't know who it is, but
we can do 4 hours on talking about putting fights on and talking about the State Athletic Commission.
You mean we're not talking 4 hours?
I mean, no, we're already going overtime here. We're Mexican, dude. They'll throw us out. I'm telling you, hey, get out of here.
So that's why hot.
Hey, so we'll have to continue that on, But real quick, once again, for the people listening to us here at Full Contact Fun Addicts, if you want to go check out De La O Jiu-Jitsu, I highly recommend it.
8381 Gatella Avenue, Unit J. That's in Stanton, California, 90680. We are there 7 days a week. We have fight classes 7 days a week. We are sweating. 7 days a week.
And the phone number, if you want to call, is 714-527-1845. Go and check. Like I say, it's by Knott's Berry Farm. You can't miss it. So make sure you go and check it out. Also, he's got the pro wrestling. I think you still got the pro wrestling classes there and stuff like that. So there's just a ton of things. Whatever you want, it's there. So make sure you check it out. Hey, man, big ups to Dondo for coming and hanging with us. Of course, the man
Appreciate
himself,
being
John.
here.
We talked so much about him. It's finally good to get him in here.
Yeah, we didn't even get to talk about my infamous temper.
We got to. I'm
It's
telling
not
you,
true.
we could
It's
easily
all a
do
lie.
4 hours.
It's all a lie. I've never raised my voice.
And Nick
at
for getting us
anyone
some
who didn't
stats
deserve it.
and making sure
Not
we
Bobby,
stayed on track.
not
Robert
Fernando,
for
not
making
Nick.
sure everything's
No.
moving. And of course,
Lies.
Miguel, always hanging out. Was able to keep him from cursing today, so we appreciate that. Hey, Robert, a million thank yous for bringing us in and out. Get us the
you,
heck out
Robert.
of here. We'll see everybody next Monday. Don't
Next
forget,
Monday at 8.
Full Contact Fanatics. Check us out here. Every
Fun
Monday.
Addicts. FUN.
Long Beach Fight, Full Contact Pro Mixed Martial Arts. Brought to you by Liberty Fight Gear.